Welcome back to the news at 10. Though Lagos State is the epicenter of the coronavirus in Nigeria, there are concerns about the spread of the virus in Nigeria's 17 northern states. In its last official report, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control revealed that 57% of deaths due to the coronavirus are in northern Nigeria. Tonight, to discuss the rising number of cases and the deaths from COVID-19 across the north is Babjide Ogunsanwo, Channels Television's data and information consultant. Thank you for being here tonight.
Good evening.
Good evening. And in the last 7 days, we've seen more than 1,500 new cases of coronavirus. You've been keeping count and have been reported in Nigeria. Does this mean that there is a significant rise in the number of citizens that have been tested?
The summary of the test is less than 25,000 Nigerians have been tested, samples tested. That, in simple terms, means only 1 in every 8,000 Nigerians have been tested. But tonight, I'd like to start from a slightly different perspective. You know, exactly on this day, the 10th of May, 6 years and 2 decades ago, Nelson Mandela was sworn into office. The question on the lips of millions of Nigerians tonight is, can the government swear that the number of cases that are being reported in Nigeria are accurate? Here's why it is important. Nigeria is among the countries that have over 200 million citizens. The evidence we have tonight shows that every country in the world that has a population of over 200 million people have each tested over 100,000 citizens. In Nigeria, we've tested less than 25,000. Listen carefully to what I'm about to say. I'll probably just be able to say it once. The 10 states that have the most number of coronavirus cases, Lagos, Kano, Bauchi, Borno, Katsina, Ogun, Gombe State, Kaduna, Sokoto, and Jigawa State. These top 10 states that have the most number of coronavirus cases are the same states that President Muhammadu Buhari won in 2019. In these 10 states, he got more than half of his votes. Now, make no mistakes, by no stretch of the imagination am I linking the coronavirus to President Muhammadu Buhari. But here's what I'm saying. The founding fathers of social psychology, Gabriel Tad and Gustave Le Bon, talked about the herd mentality. In other words, we cannot solve the coronavirus by just looking at the way people rationally will behave. The election results and the number of coronavirus cases has shown that we also need to understand that in solving the coronavirus case in Nigeria, we need to understand the role of behavioral science. What we have seen is the government focusing on a lot of the rational steps that human beings in Nigeria will take. But the evidence that I've just explained shows that there's an irrational, there's a mob side, there's an emotional side to managing the number of coronavirus cases in Nigeria, especially in the north.
So is there any evidence then to explain the sudden rise of COVID-19 cases and the deaths, especially in the north?
So here's the challenge. In the last decade, the United Nations and our own National Office of Statistics has been screaming that states are not accurately recording the number of deaths or even accurately recording the number of births. So let's take an instance. In 2016, Kano State recorded less than 500 deaths in all of the year. So here's what I'll describe and how I will analyze the mysterious deaths. And listen to this. The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Let's take a close look at the rising cases of the coronavirus in one of the states, Kano State, because that will explain to us what has really happened. Now, remember, on the 27th of February, Lagos State recorded its first case. Lagos State took 36 days to get to 100 cases. Kano State took only 17 days to get to 100 cases. It took Lagos 51 days to get to 300 cases. It took Kano only 20 days to get to 300 cases. It took Lagos State 55 days to get to 500 cases. It has taken Kano State only 28 days to get to 500 cases. Here's what I mean. Kano State is the Ferrari of coronavirus in Nigeria. But more than describing Kano in that way, we need to understand the peculiarities of Kano. And so among the northwestern states, in terms of land area, Kano has the smallest land area, but it has the highest population. So one key word is population density. The second reason why we've seen that spike in a state like Jigawa, for instance, is Jigawa not only shares borders with Kano, Jigawa was created out of Kano. And in Kano, the evidence shows that 55% of those living in Kano are poor. So we have a combination of high population density and high poverty rates.
Would that also mean that, the information and the sensitization of coronavirus is lost on the population because of poverty?
Yes, you're exactly right. So one of the solutions that we'll look at is there perhaps has to be more random sampling of tests done in local governments, all local governments across the country that have high population densities, because the coronavirus loves to thrive in areas where there's high population density. Of course, we need to improve the speed of response to also make sure to contain the virus. But perhaps the most important thing is the quality of leadership in all the states needs to be taken more seriously.
So there can't be any copycatism, really. Each state has to develop its own formula for dealing with coronavirus.
Again, I initially started by talking about behavioral science. Each state has its peculiarities of demography. The average household size, for instance, in Lagos, is different from the size in Kano State. So each state has to understand its demographics to be able to come up with its own solution, working in partnership with the Ministry of Health, the Presidential Task Force on COVID, and also the NCDC. But last week, I couldn't talk about why Nigerians should be hopeful and why there's a reason to smile. And I hope I can quickly talk about that tonight.
Well, make it real quick.
Here's one lesson I've learned, the most important lesson I've learned so far in life. Here's it. Everything in life that has a beginning, except God, always has an end. Everything in life that has a beginning always has an end. The only mistake the coronavirus has made is to have a beginning. Oh, what a blunder this virus has made, to have
Babjide,
a beginning.
A pleasure, as always, having you here on the News at 10. Thanks again.
Pleasure is always mine.